Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Um, we have something very important to discuss, okay? And this is something that that you don't think that you're going to discuss, but after yesterday's video with the Air Force guy who claimed allegiance to Hamas, okay, and then, so this kind of like ties in, but not on that end of the extreme, okay? This is on another end of the extreme. Before I get into it, though, hey, my name is Autumn, and on this channel we talk about current events. My other channel, Autumn's Backyard Garden, we talk about prepping, homesteading, current events, gardening. I also have a Patreon, and over there we talk about stuff that we can't talk about here due to YouTube's terms and policies, okay? So, and the links are in the description box below. So I saw this post. Okay. So you see that, right? And when I saw this, I'm like, wait a minute. What? Okay. As a military family, okay, as a Marine mom, all right, I was like, hang on just a second. You mean to tell me that they were able to convince 12 active duty U.S. soldiers to do what now? Okay. So, yeah, I have some footage that I'm going to be sharing with you because I was like, no, you can't convince me. And then I saw this.
So, good morning. John Pullen with DEA and the Rocky Mountain Division. We're here on the scene of an underground nightclub where over 300 federal law enforcement, along with our local partners from El Paso County and Colorado Springs PD, executed an enforcement operation this morning. It's a drug investigation. We seized quite a number of guns and took a number of people into custody. I think what I'd like for people to know as a result of this operation is that Colorado Springs is waking up to a safer community today.
Jonathan, give us some perspective here. 300 law enforcement officers. What brought about this kind of requirement, this kind of need to be here with that show of force?
So this is an underground illegal nightclub, okay? And what was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there. We had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes. And in fact, we had over 100 illegal aliens inside as well, and those over 100 illegal aliens were taken into custody by ICE.
Active duty service members helping as security here. Can you elaborate on that at all?
So it's an ongoing investigation, but we had over a dozen active duty service members in the club tonight, either as patrons or working as armed security.
How many of those were detained and what are they facing right now?
So Army CID was one of our partners out here, and they're going to work with us on what the next steps for those active duty service members looks like.
You mentioned that this is a drug trafficking operation. Can you elaborate on any drugs you found, the amount, any charges you anticipate that could come out of tonight?
So as you may suspect, when the cops showed up at the door, most of the drugs hit the floor. And we did find cocaine. It looks like some pink cocaine or the Tusi. And there was a little bit of other drugs, but we haven't had time to test everything. But there were dozens of small packages of drugs that they've recovered so far that I have personally seen.
How got you to this location?
This has been a long-term investigation by DEA and a number of our federal partners. And so we've been working on this underground nightclub for a number of months, doing undercover, surveillance, a lot of other work to identify what's going on here. And again, months-long information about drug trafficking and prostitution happening inside.
So now we're going to break it down. okay, because the claim about the TDA members employing the 12 active duty US soldiers to protect an underground club that involves what it involves in Colorado, with Army CID taking custody, okay, is a serious allegation that stems primarily from social media posts. So here's what I can piece together based on available information taken from very public resources. Okay, so do your own research, form your own opinions. Okay. While I critically examine the narrative and acknowledge gaps in verified evidence. Okay? Because that's what I do. So, the TDA, okay, Tren de Aragua, however the hell you pronounce it. I don't care to pronounce it correctly because I don't. They are a Venezuelan group designated as a foreign organization by the U.S. terror in February of 2025. They have been linked to various activities in Colorado, including traffic of different sorts, extortion, and violent crimes. In Aurora, Colorado, TDA members reportedly took control of apartment complexes. You remember hearing about that? Okay. Like Aspen Grove, Whispering Pines, and The Edge at Lowry, engaging in extortion, assaults, trafficking. Okay. And authorities confirmed their presence in Denver in the metro area, with arrests tying to all different kinds of crimes. So, a DEA-led raid on April 27th, 2025, at an underground nightclub in Colorado Springs resulted in the detention of over 114 individuals. Now, I ask you, with all of the raids that are going on, would you want to just get together with 114 other of your comrades and say, you know what, we're just going to give them the opportunity to let them just have just one sweep and just take them all of us together? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but these were mostly undocumented. They were suspected of trafficking of different things. Prostitution. Okay. Violent crimes. I mean, this operation seized substances like you wouldn't believe. Arms like you wouldn't believe. Okay. Now, during the Colorado Springs nightclub raid, DEA Special Agent in Charge Jonathan Pullen noted that over a dozen active duty service members were present. Some were working as security, others were patrons. All right. Now, the Army Criminal Investigation Division, or CID, is involved in a joint investigation with the DEA. But specifics about the soldiers' roles, the custody status, the charges, it's unclear right now. Okay? Now, Pam Bondi, she stated that the nightclub was frequented by TDA and MS-13. Yikes. So that's why I'm like, why would our soldiers even be around that? But this is not confirmed if TDA directly employed our soldiers or if they were independently involved. There's just too much. There's too much, I can't find anything yet. So, social media has claimed because you know these armchair detectives, they claim that TDA hired the soldiers to protect their trafficking operations, with Army CID taking custody. But these social media posts describe the soldiers as working for designated terrorists. But there's no official reports from the DEA, the Army CID, or other agencies explicitly confirming that, guess what? This is what is going. No one's saying that. No one is confirming that TDA's direct employment of soldiers or labeled them as working for TDA. No one has said that as of yet. So, the Army CID is investigating the involvement of the active duty soldiers, as confirmed by their statement that they made in that video that I just showed you. They are aware of this matter. They are currently conducting a joint investigation with the DEA, which is the lead agency. No public statements from Army CID or the Department of Defense corroborate the claim that the soldiers were directly employed by TDA, or that they are even in custody or working for the TDA. The investigation appears ongoing, with limited details released right now. So here are the evidence gaps that I found. The claim that TDA employed soldiers to protect their club is largely sourced from social media posts, which lack corroboration, as far as I'm concerned, from primary sources like the DEA or the CID, press releases, anything. Official reports confirm soldiers were present at the nightclub, but their exact roles and any direct link to TDA operations remain unverified. The term employed suggests a formal arrangement, which is not supported by any available sources as of right now. Social media posts amplify the narrative by labeling the soldiers as working for designated terrorists. This is a charge claim that aligns with heightened political rhetoric around TDA and immigration. These posts may reflect public sentiment or speculation, but they're not conclusive evidence. Now, TDA has documented activities in Colorado, including the apartment takeovers, traffic, okay? They show exploit vulnerable populations and operate with boldness. However, hiring active duty U.S. soldiers, that would be a significant elevation. An escalation that would require substantial evidence to confirm here, man. Okay? And the presence of the soldiers at the nightclub, that raises concerns. But their involvement could range from criminal complicity to being unaware of the club's full scope. What if these guys were just home on leave? Okay? And they said, oh, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, and we can get free drinks because we're soldiers. Oh, you don't know. I don't know. You don't know. We weren't there. Okay? But military personnel working security jobs, it's not uncommon, because I can't tell you how many times my son has been approached saying, "You're a Marine. We need you." And he's like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? But doing so for a terrorist organization, that's a major breach warranting CID's investigation. But the narrative around TDA has been politicized. Okay? It's emphasizing aggressive action against this group. Okay? This may amplify claims to justify policies, as seen in Operation Aurora. Okay? But as of right now, the current status is this. The DEA raid, April 27th, Colorado Springs confirmed TDA's presence in the area. But we knew this. We've known this for how long, okay? And the involvement of the active duty soldiers. But no official source explicitly states that the TDA actually employed them and paid them, okay? There's nothing. It's speculation, shiznet garbage, okay? Army CID is investigating, and at least 114 individuals, mostly undocumented, are in ICE custody for processing and potential deportation. Mass bye-byes, 114 all in one swoop, okay? The Trump administration designated TDA as a terrorist organization, okay? And it has led to 394 arrests nationwide. Bye-bye. Indicating a broader crackdown. So what is my conclusion? Well, while TDA's criminal activities in Colorado are well documented, the specific claim that they employed and paid over 12 armed active duty soldiers, United States soldiers, to protect their criminal operations in Colorado Springs lacks conclusive evidence from official sources. The presence of these soldiers at the raided nightclub and the Army CID's involvement are confirmed. That's the only thing that's confirmed right now. But whether they were directly hired and paid by TDA or acted independently remains under investigation. Posts on social media reflect public concern, but you know that it's going to over-exaggerate just to draw you in and say, oh, looky here, okay? They're going to misrepresent detail because they have to draw you in. They have to say, look. Look at what I found. Please come and read me, okay? So for definitive answers, further disclosure from Army CID or the DEA are needed. And if anything comes about, you know where to come to look for those answers. Come to the Marine Mom herself, okay? Because I'm the only one that's going to give you the, the critical analysis from, the critical one herself. Because I'm a Marine Mom. I'm never going to, when it comes to military stuff like this, I'm never going to, beat around the bush or tell you lies. Because that's not what I do. All right. Anyway, I am out of here, y'all. I will see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less. Ciao.